Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Chapter 51, The Forgotten. I had achieved a peace in Skyrim it had not seen in years, and my two closest companions almost broke it within days. Sigund's sister was returned to her after she thought she had died, and in the confusion of all her emotions, she attacked the very man who brought her sister back to her due to the cruelty enacted upon her by his fellow soldiers. But thankfully, nobody was hurt. Sigund was angry and confused, so I told her to stay behind and spend some time with her sister while we moved out to rejoin the Dawnguard in their fight against the vampires. While Alduin resurrects fallen dragons, I need to gather strength for the next fight. I need to become stronger, and to do that, I need to kill dragons and learn new words of power. But I also can't ignore my responsibilities. Now that Alduin is in the wind, I need to finish what I started. I need to protect the people of Tamriel from the vampires. I need to end them once and for all. While I was with the Dawnguard, I learned a word of power long before I knew what I was. So while I'm ending these monsters, I can also gather strength for the worse of the two evils later on. Before I returned to the Dawnguard, I was sent after a word of power by the Greybeards. There I met a man who was waiting for me. He told me he saw me in his dreams, and that the Nine had sent him here to meet me. The strangest thing about all of it, he looked like my father. He told me he was once a Knight of the Nine, a holy order of knights. I would accept his aid. I will always take good people willing to fight the dragons. After what felt like a lifetime, I had finally returned to the Dawnguard. I had found the last Elder Scroll I needed while on the quest to learn Dragonrend. And now that I had it, it was time to end the Volkihar clan. As soon as I walked into those doors, Serana came running towards me and hugged me so tight. For a moment, I felt at peace. I felt like all the bad in the world had vanished. She smelled like lavender. Having her in my arms made me realize how much I had missed her. I had to leave her because I didn't want to risk losing her in the fight against the dragons. But now that I have her again, I don't think I will ever leave her behind ever again. But now that I have people following me, and even some of them vampires, I feel safer knowing that she won't be directly in the dragon fires. We sat down by the fire and talked all night about our time apart from each other. I told her everything. About those that followed me, that another vampire would follow me, and that she was most fearsome. I even told her that I went into a Thalmor party. She wasn't too pleased about that one, being that I worship the very god they hate. I told her about all the brave souls that joined me, from vampires, werewolves to Daedra, and those who hunt them. She wasn't surprised. She told me that there's something about me people will just follow. When they look at me, they see hope, that they would lay down their lives for me if needed. There's just something about me that brings everyone together. She explained that I was the reason for her leaving her father, that I felt like the last hope for her and any chance of good that remained in the world. That meant a lot coming from her. Serana showed me that the world isn't so black and white. When I became a vampire, she was the only one there helping me. She never left my side. And now that I'm here again, I will never leave hers ever again. We talked for hours until the early hours of the morning. It had been so long since I had slept this well. I felt at home, and being around Serana again brought me so much peace. But when I woke, I couldn't see Serana anywhere. Normally while I slept, she was nearby watching over me by the fire. At least that's how it was before I sent her back here. I was told that Serana was waiting for me down by the water. I wonder what she's up to. It's a nice little spot down there. It's just nature and all of its beauty. Looks like my forces are getting set up. I'm grateful for every last one of them. None of them had to follow me into this, but they all chose to. I could never repay any of them enough for their deeds. They risk everything to fight by my side. Most of them even have to fight by their sworn enemies to save the world. There are none other braver in Tamriel than this lot. There she is. Wow, that looks like a nice little spot. Made even more beautiful by Serana's presence.
I was just thinking, how would I describe you to someone who's never met you? Fearless? Clever? Dashing? No. I think it's your kindness that really sets you apart, actually. You always try to help people, and it's uncanny how you can always tell when someone needs your aid, too. I never did get how. Oh, I was just thinking. You really stand out, you know that? A little bit like a nerd, really. Very annoying at times, but also quite rare. And precious. And like the Nirnroot, people tend to underestimate you. A measly 10 septums. But not me. I can spot a treasure when I see one.
Serana had set up a beautiful little spot by the waterfalls. It was just for us. We sat there just talking about anything. Serana would go on about things I had no clue about. But hearing her talk about the things she was passionate about just filled me with joy. I had no idea about alchemy or any of that stuff, but listening to her talk about it brought a smile to my face. She could talk about anything, and that smile of hers would always keep me interested in what she would say next. We could just talk about anything without a care in the world what it's about. She was the only person I could really just talk to. She made me feel safe. We sat there talking about our lives, our hopes and dreams when we were little girls. Serana had a lot to say about her life. She's lived quite a lot of it. She talked about her regrets, how she used people, how she was used, and now she feels free. She said that choosing to follow me was the best choice she had ever made. She said it was her first choice she had ever made for herself. When she first laid eyes upon me, she saw hope. Everything in her body told her to follow me. And I'm glad she did. I treated her horribly because of what she was. But when I became a vampire and was faced with the lust of blood, she was there. Even after I had treated her poorly, she was there regardless. She was the only person there for me. It was during those moments I stopped seeing the monster I thought she was and started seeing the person she really was. Somebody that cared, who was trying to do the right thing with all the bad things that had happened to her. She cared for me like no other had, even after everything I put her through. I think it was then I started falling in love with her, because I knew she cared about me, and no matter how I treated her, she was always by my side. I don't know how to explain it, but she's just perfect. We drank fine wines, ate delicious foods, and talked all day. Time had gone so fast being with her, but today was perfect. The best day I've had in memory. I was just able to be myself with her. Not the Dragonborn, the one and only that has to save the world for everyone. I was able to just be me. I guess that's why I love being around her. I don't have to be the Dragonborn. When everyone else looks at me, they see the last hope. They see a dragon slayer. But Serana just sees Ragni. She was with me before I was special. She didn't need a reason to follow me like everyone else. But I'm glad they did. I couldn't do this without any of them. Now, while we are united, we will face down these vampires and destroy them. Any vampire willing to aid will be welcome. Sometimes we must fight fire with fire. We went back inside to get some time around the fire and drink some more wine, but then we spotted Dexian. Wait, why is he covering his eyes?
I trust your journey was successful?
My journey was successful, if that's the word I'll use for the entire month. Go find an Elder Scroll, they said. Easy it will be, they said. Yeah, right. Thanks for that one, Dexian.
I'm sorry, my friend. I can no longer be of use in this matter. It's my fault. In my haste to read the first scroll, I neglected the careful preparation required. I thought I'd be able to allay the after effects, but I was wrong. Now I am paying for it. Blind? Yes, I'm afraid so. I can't guarantee you'd be free from harm. Becoming blind could be the least of your worries.
How did he go blind? I read an Elder Scroll myself with no training. Maybe it's because I'm Dragonborn?
Scattered across Tamriel are secluded locations known only as Ancestor Glades. There's one in Skyrim, in the Pine Forest. Performing the ritual of the Ancestor Moth within the glade should provide the answers you seek. It involves carefully removing the bark from a canticle tree, which will in turn attract Ancestor Moths to you. Once enough of the moths are following, they'll provide you with the second sight needed to decipher the scrolls. In keeping with tradition, you must use a specific tool in the Ancestor Glade, an implement known as a draw knife. Every moth priest is taught this ritual, but few ever get the chance to perform it. You should consider yourself fortunate if it works for you. From what I saw in the vision, the Elder Scroll which foreshadows the defiance of the gods with the blood of mortals is the key to the prophecy. Good luck. I hope you find the answers you seek.
We spent the night planning what to do next. I had to read the Elder Scrolls now since Dexian was blind. I've already read one before, and being Dragonborn might make me immune to the penalties of reading them. I hope. But Serene has told me that our numbers are too low to continue fighting the vampires. She has an idea for a new recruit, a man called Florentius. She told me that she and Gunmar already know him, and apparently he's a little strange. We don't really have to worry about numbers anymore with what I've brought to fight with us. But if this Florentius has the approval of Isran, then I'll set off to Runevald to recruit him. Senturos insists I take him and the others as guards. Florentius is with what's left of the Vigilance, so I won't need everybody with me. They will meet me at the Ancestor Glade. While I've been gone, new members have joined and died. Most of the new recruits have been killed by the vampires. But now I have the backing of Skyrim. Still, if Isran has asked for this Florentius, then he must be good at what he does. He was right about Serene and Gunmar after all. I don't know why I'm doing this. I have more important things to do. But I guess I get things done, as they say. Anyway, something on the side from a world-ending quest will be nice. Something boring and normal is always welcomed. We arrived a few hours later at the Runevald excavation where this Florentius is. Hopefully the Vigilance let him come with us if he wishes to leave. It looks a little quiet here. Where are their guards? They should have people out the front on watch. Something doesn't feel right about this. Well, looks like the Vigilance are here. Thank Talos. Had a bad feeling about this place. Probably don't have the numbers to spare guarding the entrance after their headquarters got burned down.
When I was a boy, my friends and I used to play Seek the Wampus in the kids' watch.
As soon as we got close, the Vigilance became agitated. I thought it was because we surprised them, but they were fully aggressive. Without a second thought, they attacked us like crazy people. Since they attacked us, we had to kill them. I knew I had a bad feeling about this place. Why do my feelings always come true? By the gods, this won't be boring and easy. Why are they attacking us? They know who the Dawnguard are. We do what they do. There has to be something wrong with them. These Vigilants are mindless. For a second, I could see something around his head, but I didn't get enough time to look before he tried to kill me. We went further down, and yet more Vigilants were trying to kill me. Was this place cursed? Did this ruin enslave their minds? I really hope Florentius isn't like these Vigilants. We cleared out the top chambers of all these Vigilants. was a door going deeper. Maybe we'll find the reason why these vigilants have gone crazy the deeper we go. When we passed through the door, we heard fighting down further. Maybe somebody down here hasn't fallen to this ruined spell, or is fighting whatever has awoken and enslaved these vigilants. It wasn't the ruin or any of its guardians. It was some high elf that had enchanted the vigilance. Once she was killed, whoever was left died. She can't hurt anybody else.
I knew it. I knew RK would save me. I asked for help, and he sent you. You are a very welcome addition to this dreary place, my friend. I owe both you and RK a great deal. I'm sure I'll manage to repay him later. But you, what can I do to thank you? Isran, my help? Is this some kind of a joke? Did RK put you up to this? Isran's done nothing but mock me. He's never given me the respect I deserve. Look, I've just got myself out of quite a mess here, in case you haven't noticed. And while I appreciate your help, What's that? No, that's not what I... Yes, but... Are you sure? Really? Fine. RK says it's a good idea for me to go. I don't agree. But he's not the sort of fellow you can just ignore. I'll see you at Fort Dawnguard then. Don't worry. RK will show me the way.
Great. They want a man that hears voices in his head that believes he's talking to one of the divines. They must be desperate for members if they're getting these crazies. Anyway, we need to get moving and meet the rest of my team at Ancestor Glade. It's in Falkreath up in the Gerald Mountains. We better move out if we want to make it before sundown. We made it before night fell across Skyrim. When I arrived, we were greeted by a dragon. But I think it knew better than to attack me. Or it was simply watching me, keeping track of where the Dragonborn is for his master. The view of my homeland here was amazing. Skyrim is truly a beautiful place, but such beauty comes with dangers. Only those who are strong can survive these lands. I fight for everyone down there, and everyone on the other side of the Gerald Mountains. Be it vampires or dragons, I will stop them if I have the power to.
No fear has no heart. I know fear, but it does not control me.
Wow, Baikine. This place was a place of beauty. Like it was untouched by men or any other. I had never seen such a place before. How can something remain so untouched and beautiful for so long?
Wow. Look at this place. No one's been here in centuries. I doubt there's any other place like it in Skyrim. It's beautiful.
The water was so clean here that you could see right through it. This place was magnificent. I can't believe places like this still exist.
So, where are we off to now?
It's not like anything else in Skyrim, I can tell you that much. From now or before. There's probably groves like this all over Tamriel. Most people just don't even know what to look for.
This place was truly enchanting.
All right with me.
But we were here to read these Elder Scrolls so we can find Oriel's bow and stop Serana's father from ever blackening the sun. First, we needed a draw knife so we could cut some bark off one of the canicle trees. The bark will attract the moths, which will protect me while reading the Elder Scrolls. I don't know why I need protecting. Maybe being Dragonborn makes me immune to the penalties of reading the Elder Scrolls. But it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm no help to Tamriel if this blinds me or makes me crazy. It's never a smart idea to leave reading the Elder Scrolls up to fate. And the very things I'll be reading are fate itself. I gathered enough moths to form a sort of shield around me. Dexion told me to gather enough to shield me from the Elder Scrolls. Now I need to walk into the light and read these scrolls. Doing so will reveal Oriel's bow. So then we can stop Lord Harkon and finish him once and for all. When I read the Elder Scroll, It felt exactly the same as the one I had read before, but this time I had to read 3 at once. When I read the second one, a sort of shape started to appear. It looked like water streams. Once I read the last scroll, it turned out to be the waterways across Skyrim. The scroll revealed mountains and the location of Markarth and Solitude. But northeast of Markarth, there was an odd symbol. Then a sort of red band appeared around it. That was the location of Oriel's bow.
Are you okay? Almost thought I lost you there. You went as white as the snow.
Ah, what is that noise? Is this a side effect of reading the Elder Scroll?
After everything we've been through, it had damn well better work. What about Ariel's bow? Do you know where we can find it? Then, it's almost over. We can finally put an end to this ridiculous prophecy. Where is this Darkfall cave? Then let's get going. I want to get there before my father has a chance to track us down.
My head felt a little weird, but I swear I could see something moving at the entry. It looks like frost magic. Wait, vampires? Have they tracked us here? Time to find out. Who's? The last time they fought me, I was but an ordinary hunter. But now, I'm Ysmir, Dragon of the North. They stand no god's damn chance against my fire. All of them will burn. All of them will be turned to ash. Any that follow evil will be destroyed. The vampires failed in their attempts to ambush us and take the scrolls, but we weren't going to wait around for a second attempt. It was night and we needed to get somewhere safe for the night, so we fled into Helgen. Senturos wasn't too happy to be back here. This was where he was, about to watch Ulfric lose his head when Alduin appeared and set the entire place on fire. It's fortified, so if the vampires find us here, we can defend this position. That's if these ruins don't collapse on us first. At least the scrolls will be hidden again. We set up in the ruins of Fort Helgen, but no vampires followed. When it was morning and the sun was out, we would move out back towards Fort Dawnguard. Serana wants to head off to Darkfall, but I know we should go back to Fort Dawnguard. I have one of those good feelings about this. Plus, we're going to need everyone on this quest. We arrived back at midday. I need to get everyone else. Senturos' legionaries and the few that stayed behind to guard. Then we can set out and get this bow.
Yeah, I almost thought I lost you for a bit there. I definitely wasn't expecting a fight. And not after, well, you know what I'm talking about.
Harkon is a cornered skeever now. He's gonna do whatever he has to get this bow. I'm here to stop that. That was strange. Not a care in the world we were so near. Octavia is back. That means Freya and Cecilia are back. Perfect timing. We're going to need them. If Cecilia is here, well, that's going to cause some problems. That's one vampire who doesn't like hunters. I hope they at least try to talk to her for their sake. Cecilia is definitely back. And look at that. The Daedra are still alive. That woman surprises me all the time. There's Cecilia talking to Isran. This can't be good. I felt a set of familiar eyes looking at me. It was Sigund. She has arrived.
Hello, Dragonborn. I've arrived. I've brought with me some of the best the Bear-Claws have to offer. First, I'd like to apologize. What I said to you was out of place. I hope you can forgive me for the way that I acted.
It's all water under the bridge. I understand that your head and heart weren't in the right place. I think you should be apologizing to someone else that really needs it.
You're right, Dragonborn. He didn't deserve any of that. He did me a service he really didn't have to. And then I tried to kill him. I will have words with Senturos.
Time to see how that all went, and if she succeeded in her mission. Isran looked a little worried. That's one vampire not to upset. How did your first meeting with Isran go? It looked better than the one with Serana.
This wasn't our first meeting. A few decades ago, Isran was hunting me for the Vigilance. I caught him sleeping by his fire. When he woke, he went about as pale as I was. I gave him the opportunity to walk away. And if I ever saw him again, I would kill him without a second chance.
By Talus, you're a dangerous woman, but one that shows mercy. No wonder he tells us that sleep is for the weak. How did your trip go? Did you find a place to house everyone?
We did. It's an old vampire castle. It's nestled in the trees beside Lake Ilinalta. It had some necromancers in it, but we dealt with them. I've got craftsmen now furnishing the place for it to be livable.
We gathered everyone and set off to this Darkfall cave, so we can find Oriel's bow and put a stop to Harkon and his ilk. While on the road past Greymoor, I was stopped by two travelers. They asked if I was the Dragonborn, and I told them I was. They offered to join me. It matters not what skills you bring with you, but who you are. I will accept any that are willing to face down dragons by my side, no matter what they are. This fort looks like an old Dawnguard castle. This is where Sigund and Senturos' troops are holding up. Both of them have owned this citadel. Now both of their forces again hold up in it. Now that there is peace, they can work together to fight the dragons. It's also refreshing to not see bodies litter the roads. It's good to see the roads calm once more. It's been so long. Great. It was starting to rain, and we weren't even halfway there yet. I doubt we'll make it before sundown. A dragon! Isn't that where Rorikstead is? This is where all of these soldiers are heading to. We need to follow them. We can't let that dragon burn down Rorikstead. Time to show these creatures that there's something to fear now. That they aren't immortal anymore. That we are not ants for them to crush. Face me, dragon, and meet your doom. The dragon was no match for all of us. Without their ability to fly, they are nothing but a pig to the slaughter. Any that seek to destroy or enslave us will feed my power. And one by one, they will make me stronger to face Alduin. When I tear them from the sky and devour their souls, it brings hope to every mortal around us. The stories will spread, and those who had little hope will pick up their blades and seek me out, like many have. When we stand together, the dragons won't stand a chance against us. Rorikstead was safe, but now dragons are beginning to attack settlements. It makes sense. With the war on hold, Alduin's source of power will try us with fewer souls going to Sovngarde. So now he's going to make his dragons do all the killing for him. Things are gonna get worse before they get better. We reached a bridge that was held by bandits. I wasn't going to negotiate with them. They were in the way and wanted a fight. Do bandits go to Sovngarde? I hope not, or these scum are going to feed Alduin. As we cleared the road, out of nowhere, a dragon appeared. I should have been ready when I heard its roar. Maybe it was my shouting that brought it near. Another had come to face me, like a moth to a candle, and another fell. Another gave me their power, but this one arrived without warning, while we were in battle, and I lost people. I lost Rolda Rebelheart. She was a housecarl to Sigund. She has lost all but one in the fight against the dragons, and we lost Durak. He was the very hunter that recruited me into the fight against the vampires. Without Durak, I would have never joined the Dawnguard. I would have never become Dragonborn when Skyrim needed me the most. I dare say Skyrim has lost its real savior. When morning finally arrived, we buried Rolda and Durak under a tree. We gave them our final goodbyes for the heroes they were. But it was time to head off and find this bow. This Darkfall cave was located near an orc stronghold. Borgok told me that this was her stronghold before she was married to another chief. She was told by her parents never to go into Darkfall Cave, that it was filled with spiders. She mentioned a strange elf covered in snow that used to trade with her stronghold. There's a dragon near. We better be careful. I don't wish to lose any more friends on this fight to dragons. There's Darkfall Cave. Time to find this bow and put an end to Harkon. To think a weapon of such power, the weapon of a god, has just been sitting in some dusty old cave since the beginning of time, and nobody has found it yet. Well, it shouldn't be too hard. I've been through worse. But every time I think something will be easy, it never is. So I should expect this to be dangerous. Maybe this bow has been protected all this time, and that's why it's never been found. All those who go looking for it have never returned. This looks to be just another cave, but I'll keep my eyes open. Nothing to do with what we are after will be easy. I remember that Oriel is the elven name for Akatosh or something like that. And Oriel's bow is the bow of Akatosh, so it's a weapon of one of the gods. In my hands, this bow could destroy Harkon with ease. We came across a few spiders in here, but up ahead there was a bridge crossing the water. Something about it gave me an uneasy feeling. It looked old. It looked like if you dropped a stick on it, the bridge would collapse. I needed to see what was on the other side, but I was scared to cross. There's someone here I can borrow some courage from. Where is she?
Another day in Skyrim. I'm still trying to decide which is more unpredictable, the weather or the inhabitants.
Confident. I've never felt so determined in my life. And if we can survive the soul cairn, then this should be a walk in the park. Unless how far we've come was all because of me, while you just followed. I mean, I am a royal vampire, charmer, alchemist, and mage. While you are...
I am her hopeless dragonborn that dearly needs her royal vampire beside her at all times. Who can bring a smile to my face and make my heart beat quicker? My strength and my weakness.
Though you didn't kill it, technically. I mean, isn't that guy, Dunavir, was it, your soulmate now? Best friends. That's the real reason you call him to Skyrim. People in Whiterun must have thought it was thunder, but it was just the two of you gossiping. Anyway, enough of that. We got a bow to find. But first...
When she kissed me, I felt at peace. I felt like I could take on the world, that nothing could ever hurt me. It was way more courage than I needed. But when it comes to her lips, it's never enough. Just don't look down. Keep moving and look forward, Ragni. What was this object? Wasn't really anything over here. It was a dead end. We'll have to go back and see if there's another path. Looks like this was some miners' setup. Remember, don't look down. Just look at Freya. Keep your eyes on her. This bridge isn't too bad. It's holding together. Ah! No, what's going on? God save me.
I heard the bridge collapse in front of me and everyone was saying the Dragonborn fell off and was swept away in the water. I rushed over to find out what was happening. I didn't care where it was going. I was following. I will not let her die now.
Now, I want to keep these chapters shorter. The whole entire thing that I've done here goes for an hour and a half, so I'm going to split them into 30 minutes. So at least we get 3 chapters out of this one. And I hope people enjoyed the last night chapter. I did try to make that one pretty small, so it could fit into kind of people, you know, a bit more of a time to watch. Because at the end of the day, an hour and a half is way too much time to watch a video on YouTube. Half an hour is probably perfect because you can fit into your day or your night. An hour and a half, that's like having to go watch a fucking movie. And sure, it's free, but it's something I would do on YouTube, so I'm not going to put other people through it. Now, with Chapter 51, The Forgotten, we are returning to what we had to cut off with, like, the Dragonborn chapter. I don't remember which one it was. Now, I designed this entire story a while ago, and the whole idea of it was to kind of... Ragni's story had to stop during the Dawnguard questline, which became the Dragonborn, because two things: the Dragonborn, she became Dragonborn, and secondly, she didn't have the Elder Scroll Dragon, and I didn't want to get that in the DLC questline. I wanted to get that in the Dragonborn questline because of Minerva. So she had to stop, and she had to go off and follow her destiny. And now she's got the Elder Scroll Dragon, and now that she needs to gather power to fight Elduin, she can now return to where what she started and finally finish it. You know, she can return to the Dawnguard, and at that time, she'll kill dragons, gather power, and find words of power throughout her journey through this. So her main goal right now is to gather power to fight Elduin for the next fight, for the last fight. But again, she wants to return and finish what she started. But at the same time, she's going to do exactly what she is meant to be doing while finishing the Dawnguard questline, while finishing Harkon. Now she gets to return to Serana. She hasn't been with her for a month and a bit. Her companions kind of been Senturos because they were familiar with each other before she was Dragonborn. When she was a bard, they had shared a bed. Senturos was her first. And so she just continued to lay with Senturos because they were close in that sort of way and familiar. But she cut it off in the last chapter with all the cranky shit with Sigund, and now that of course she knew that she was returning to Serana, and she has very strong feelings for Serana, ones of love, where she doesn't for Senturos in that regard. So she didn't really want to have a jealousy sort of thing, or she just wanted solely to be with Serana. And this chapter is kind of, I want to get through it in say 15-20 minutes. I don't want to go for too long, so I'm just going to leave bits of it here and there. I'm not gonna show you the bits in the background. I'm just going to talk about what goes through. This bit's to show up the kind of romance. She had to leave Serana behind, or tell Serana to go back to the Dawnguard, while she went off to do the Dragonborn questline, because, well, she didn't want Serana to die in Dragonfire. But now she's got vampires that follow her, and she's got a shit ton more people that follow her. So, you know, now it's not so bad. You know, when this is all done, Serana will be able to follow her, because she won't be the sole person in the Dragonfires of the Dragonborn. She'll have an entire army behind her, and other vampires, like Cecilia. But again, they haven't seen each other in a month and a bit, so I wanted to add some romance to it. I don't remember how long it is, but I just wanted to add like a romantic sort of thing. Serana hasn't seen Ragni in a very long time, and just really excited to see her and wants a perfect day with her. You know, just wants to be around and wants to talk to her. She's out in the sun, you know, and she's just having a romantic time, a picnic. And again, I love a bit of romance, you know. I know I have sex scenes in this, and they're not there for the sex element of it. They're there for storytelling. And again, romance is a very heavy hitter when it comes to storytelling. And again, since it's the Dragonborn, her romance with another character should be heavily sort of nodded upon during certain times. I can't just have characters going off and rooting and tooting. It just turns into a porno with like no genitals. But I really wanted a moment where like Serana and her would just sit down and have a day to themselves, just be romantic, just be themselves. Because, you know, Serana was the first person to follow Ragni, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, before she was a Dragonborn. She knew who she was before she had those golden eyes. And she makes Ragni feel like a Ragni, not like she's the last Dragonborn. It's kind of a thing I got from Legends of Korra, where Asami was this, Legends of Korra Avatar universe. If you're not familiar with it, they all, like, there's 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. And mostly people can only ever bend one, but some people can't bend any. And there's this character called Asami. She's a female, rich kid to a billionaire, and she's very close friends with the Avatar, and the Avatar can bend all 4 elements. Only person that can do that. And she's very close to the Avatar, but she never calls her Avatar. She calls her Korra, and trains with her. Like, here you've got this like non-bender doing physical training with the actual Avatar, where you'd never see a non-bender and an actual bender training together. They train in their own groups. And I guess Korra always felt safe around Asami because she made her feel like Korra and not the Avatar. She made her feel like a person, not some thing of destiny. And this is kind of what I see with Ragni and Serana. I see that they treat each other as people, not as a vampire, not as the last Dragonborn. They're able to be themselves around each other, drop their guard with each other, feel safe around each other. You know, one's a few thousand-year-old vampire, and the other one's this character that everyone looks upon to save them. You know, everyone looks upon to, you know, end the world-ending event. So being with each other, it was just a little moment of relaxation that they could just be themselves. Just forget who they are in the background. Forget that she's a 1,000-year-old vampire. Forget that she's the last hope for all of Tamriel. It's just a moment for them to be with each other. Because, again, Ragni and Serana had a very strong bond. And that bond was mainly from hatred, from what Serana was, but it changed to, I think, a love when she learned to appreciate what Serana did for her. When she became a vampire, that she was there by her side every second of that, that time when she was on Tamriel as a bloodthirsty vampire. And again, I had this go real fast because at the end of the day, man, when you're having fun with someone you really care about, time just flies by. It just, thump, it's gone. Space of a second, that moment you thought would last forever lasted for a couple seconds. And I thought, want to add in this story. So it was good to have a bit of a romantic thing. There will obviously be some sort of sexual content in the future with there, because again, that's their sort of relationship. They haven't done any of that yet. And again, I wanted it to kind of not be that way. I didn't want it to be that way between the Dragonborn. I wanted it to kind of be first romantic, because the Ragni isn't gay. Or well, she's kind of bi, I guess, now, because she never really liked girls, but she met somebody that changed her entire view on the world. And that person changed the way she looked. Like, she doesn't look at a girl and go, she's fucking hot. You know, she looks at Serana and she sees a beautiful person. It's not really a physical attraction, that's there, but what more attracted Ragni to Serana was the person she was, the person that cared for her. You know, it was more of a soul attraction, not a physical attraction. And the physical attraction will obviously play into it, but again, they're more soulmates than they are, you know, physically attracted to each other. That's there, of course, but like I said, it's more of the soul than the eyes, and it's good to show that off. You know, not many stories tell that in any sort of medium. It's more than just rooting. Nothing wrong with that, but I thought I'd add that. It's always a good part of the story. So we do go on a little quest to recruit Lucia, that dude. I probably should have not done that, but did it whatever. Now we've returned to where we had to stop. Couldn't go on when she first became the Dragonborn because she didn't have the scroll, and they had to get the scroll through the Dragonborn questline, from the main questline. And now that we've finally all done that, we're finally here to stop Harkon, stop the smaller bad guy before we get to the bigger bad guy. And while stopping the smaller bad guy, we'll gather power for the bigger bad guy, because there's quite a few dragons in our way in this, and there's, you know, words of power and stuff like that. So she's doing what she needs to do to fight Elduin, while she's dealing with the current problem that she had to walk away from due to the fact that, you know, her entire life changed when she absorbed or devoured the soul of a dragon. So we're able to return to that and finally finish what she started. Now there's, you know, Serana and those, they aren't here because they're off gathering a sort of base, and that base is for the future when when the Dragonborn, the word of the Dragonborn has spread not just from Skyrim, but around Tamriel, because there are people that aren't in Skyrim that will leave their homelands to come and aid the Dragonborn, either for adventure or for sense of duty. And when I start getting all these followers in, there's going to be hundreds of them, and they're not going to all follow the Dragonborn. There's going to be select groups or people here and there, but the majority of them will be like, they'll join up and they'll go to towns, like an army of them, and protect it against dragons. I don't know how the hell they'll fare. They'll get slaughtered because they haven't got dragon rend, and dragons are bullies, but end of the day, it's going to be a massive grouping of people that will come together across Tamriel to aid the Dragonborn in stopping dragons and killing them, hunting them, and all that sort of shit. So that's kind of what Cecilia's off to do in this chapter. I'm trying to think of anything else important to the chapter that is kind of... This one's kind of boring. Remember, I did do it in like an hour and 30 minutes. This is like the full thing I wanted to do as a chapter. But I'm cutting it down to 30, and I kind of leave it on a cliffhanger. More of like a hole dropper. That sounds gross. But there's not much that really goes on. It splits. We have a conversation between Cecilia where she tells you that she's already met Isran. I've done that in another chapter back in her past 20 or so years ago when Isran was a younger man for the Vigilance. He was hunting Cecilia, and she knew he was a hunter and a vigilant, and she gives those sort of people a chance. If she can. If they try to kill her, she'll kill them. But he was asleep and he woke up and looking at a vampire staring at him. She gave him a warning. If I ever see you again, if you ever hunt me again, I'll fuck you up. You're done. And Isran grew a brain at that moment and decided, yep, mate, she caught me with my pants down. Fuck that. Never again. And they had to reunite. This time, the second time she's ever seen him was the time she threatened to kill him. But it's in a different circumstance. He wasn't hunting her. She was there to help the Dragonborn and kind of needed to announce herself to the Dawnguard that, hey, I'm a vampire, hey, you know me, you've hunted me, but hey, I'm here to help. Don't attack me. I don't want to kill you. But that's kind of there. We have a bit of a conversation with Sigund. She's returned. Because she had to understand her feelings at the time were just a mix of emotions. Like, you've got 15 different emotions just smashing together, and then she just went into a fit of rage and went berserk. And she's had some time through this sort of part where Ragni is off gathering this, the scroll knowledge and the prophecy and that sort of stuff to kind of think about her actions. And she's realised she fucked up. She's just like Senturos. She leaves with her heart, and she realised that she was in the wrong. And at the end of the day, Ragni knows that Sigund and Senturos will do absolutely anything for her. She knows that she'll come back when she gets her senses better. And she does. She comes back and she joins back on because she just needs some time to think about her actions. Ragni will, Brianna, Sigund's sister, will basically go, you're weak if you're going to continue following an Imperial. Like, fuck that. That's pussy shit. And she'll go back to Windhelm. She won't join the team. She'll go back and she'll recruit her own troops. Keep some of the Bear-Claw raiders that don't want to fight with the Imperials. Some of them, because not all of them are going to fight with each other. Same thing with the Imperials. Not all the Imperials are willing to fight alongside the Stormcloaks. There's just too much hatred and animosity there. And that's fair. That's fine. That's the kind of point behind this. Not everyone's going to get along. Some of them are. They're going to hate each other still, but they're going to have to respect that they understand the world's going to end. We need to put our blades together and fight this. And then later on, we'll fucking kill each other. But that's about it. When it comes to this sort of chapter, I can't remember too much else about it. We did go to Helgen, sorry, I did mention that. Senturos was there when it all happened. Didn't ever show up in the project, but I imagined it happened when Ragni went into the Soul Cairn. She was only there for a couple of hours, but at the time in Oblivion's all sorts of retarded, doesn't actually work at the time of Tamriel. So she was 6 hours in Cold Harbour and came back out. It'd been 3 months in real time in Tamriel. And during that time, Senturos had helped capture Ulfric in sort of the Rift, Falkreath area during the spring. Finally landed. He captured him, sent him off to Helgen to be executed. Elduin rocks up, destroys the place, restarts the war. That sort of shit. I'd love to do that, but unfortunately the carriage ride system in Skyrim's a bit fucked when you have a heavily modded game. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It is a wild time. If you have epilepsy or anything like that, you would freak out and go into a seizure. The shit's wild. But as far as that, this is chapter 51, The Forgotten. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Now, remember, if you've got something to say, man, say it, because I like having a conversation. Views are just numbers, but comments are people. And I like to hear what you think I messed up, what you liked, what you didn't like, and certain things about your game that might be similar to mine, or certain things that you want to take from mine into yours. That sort of stuff. What you kind of enjoyed and disliked and not so much enjoyed about this chapter. Those are fun things to have. Not just are they fun for me to communicate with people that enjoy this sort of stuff, but it also helps the algorithm out. It gets out to more people that will enjoy this sort of stuff. More people that enjoy storytelling. And this is kind of what I do this for. To inspire people to play a model character system of their own, write their own pretty cool stories. And, I don't know, I forgot what I was going to say. I just listen to inspire people, and hopefully, I'll see things out there one day of people doing this sort of shit that I do for Skyrim or other Bethesda games, or other games that can kind of fit a multiple character play story. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm going to get over here. I'll try to keep this intro around 15 minutes. And yeah, like I said, if you liked it, disliked it, let me know in the comments section. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next chapter, and I hope you guys have enjoyed, and look after yourselves. Peace.